I'm joined again, as usual, by my partner in crime, Frank Morano joins me. For those of you just tuning in for the first time to Liquid Lunch here on Biz TV, I want to remind you that my partner, Frank Morano, I believe he's with us. Hey, Frankie, how you doing?
Hello there, John. Good to see you.
Hey, buddy. So, Frankie, you can hear every single day live from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern on AM 970.
You broke up a little bit, John, and so I'm not sure if you can still hear me. But
hear you,
I
your video is frozen.
can be heard each and every Sunday morning from 4 a.m. to 3 a.m. to 8:30, and every weekday morning with Joe Piscopo from 6 to 10.
That is exactly what I was just telling everyone. Typically, you don't comb your hair with a firecracker, my assumption is.
I'm trying to work on my time travel experiments, so I figured why not do the Dutch hairstyle and put me in the frame of mind of, everyone's talking about these flying saucers or the unexplained aerial phenomenon that the Pentagon officially released the video of and confirmed the authenticity of last week. We don't know what they are. They could be military aircraft, high-end military aircraft from some other country, could be visitors from another world, certainly. I do not preclude the fact that these could be time travelers from the future, from our own future, coming back to kind of check things out. So we'll see what happens. So it strikes me as a good opportunity to experiment with time travel.
So this could be some relatives of Marty McFly or something like that, in your view. Maybe maybe a DeLorean is going to land on, in the middle of Broadway.
Well, look, I don't know if you've seen the videos yet, but you see these movements of ships that should not be able to do the things they're doing. That's understandable by any science we understand. And if you hear the audio, and I encourage people to watch this, if you hear the audio of these naval pilots in awe of these other aircraft, they don't understand. And these are experienced naval pilots. They don't understand how these ships are making movements like this. And very interesting, a fellow named Bob Lazar has been making claims about UFOs going back to the 1980s. And he described the way these ships moved and looked. And if you look at the videos, the movements
around.
The movements in the video match pretty closely with the descriptions that Bob Lazar gave to them. So maybe we can get Bob Lazar on TV with us one of these days. Yeah, certainly very interesting. And I've never been a big fan of Harry Reid, although I did enjoy his character in the movie Casino. But Harry Reid was absolutely right when he tweeted the other day, there's so much more. They haven't even scratched the surface. We have a right to know. The Pentagon should be even more forthcoming. And as Harry Reid pointed out in his tweet, we need to know the national security implications of this. If this is some foreign power that has access to aircraft like this, I think the American people ought to be pretty concerned.
Yeah, isn't it strange? The new normal that I guess we're in now is we're in the middle of a pandemic. We're quarantined to our homes, most of us. Every single day, people are talking about Joe Exotic and Carol Baskin and, the new Money Heist episodes on Netflix. And our own government comes out and admits to this unidentified aerial phenomena. And it's not even news. It's left to us to talk about it. But everyone wants to know if Carol Baskin fed her husband to a lion.
Right. It's very interesting that you say that. It's very interesting that you say that, John, because 3 years ago, when the New York Times first broke this story, or I guess 2.5 years ago, when they put it on the front page of the newspaper, I thought it was the Trump era. I thought Trump had so come to dominate the news that, aliens are on the front page of the newspaper. We now have proof that the UFOs are flying around, and it's not some West Virginia toothless drunk person, no offense to anybody in West Virginia, that's capturing this video. It's an experienced naval pilot. I thought it was Donald Trump and kind of how he's come to dominate the news that made it so that we don't care about this anymore. But now we see it's not. Trump's fault that people don't talk about this stuff anymore, because now people are focusing on the pandemic. They're focusing on the Netflix programs that you alluded to. I think maybe it says more about the public's attention span than it does anything else.
Yeah.
And really, the media is serving what the public wants to see. So they're on to the next thing. I don't understand how this happened. I don't understand why this happened. I'm sure sociologists and psychologists will have a field day explaining this phenomenon. I don't even know what you'd call it. I guess the short attention span syndrome that permeates 21st century America.
Yeah, well, I think over the last few years, we started to see this shift to the instant gratification society with the emergence of smartphones that, you know, people can't even have a debate in a bar because somebody will just go Google it in 2 seconds, and everybody wants, you know, an answer, and kids want to, you know, win the game, and if they don't win the game, then they go get their mom's credit card and buy more skins in the game. Maybe the whole attention span is going with the smartphone, but I do find it odd that we had all kinds of crazy protests, the Yellow Jackets going on in France. We had over in Hong Kong, we had, you know, uprisings and outbursts everywhere. Now all the uprisings are gone. The UFOs have been admitted to, and still, you know, trending on Twitter is Joe Exotic. Strange.
It's very interesting. We'll see what it means for the future. I'm not so sure, to be honest.
Well, can you give us any of the latest developments in? I know you've been working pretty close to Roger Stone. He was implicated in a case, of course, you know, what we would call a process crime. But now he's had his appeal upheld, and he hasn't had to report to jail. You got the first interview with him after his gag order. What can you tell us?
Well, I'm very familiar with the case, and just to clarify, he didn't have his appeal upheld. He had the judge refused to vacate his conviction. So basically, what came out after Roger was convicted of 7 counts, 5 of them having to do with making material false statements to Congress. By the way, imagine if members of Congress started to get criminally held accountable for all the times they'd lied to the public. You'd see quite a few people from Congress in prison.
Oh my, yeah.
So what happened was, after he was convicted, it was discovered that the jury foreperson had shared articles on social media about the case. She had a clear anti-Stone and anti-Trump bias before and during the case, a clear violation of not only the judge's order not to share information on social media, but it clearly showed she lied on her jury questionnaire when she was asked if she had a negative opinion about Roger Stone or had come to a preconceived notion about the case. She clearly did, as evidenced by all her social media correspondence. And the Stone defense team sought to get the conviction thrown out on that basis and sought to get him a new trial. The judge said, no, doesn't matter. The conviction stands. So now,
all right, Frankie, wait, we got to take a quick break. We got Bill Cortez joining us. Stay right there. Frankie's going to stick with us. Marine veteran, Republican political consultant and strategist Bill Cortez joins us right after this. Stick with us. Pop open a cold one. More liquid lunch for you